hypercapnia. He has now chronically elevated levels of CO2. His ependymal cells start creating bicarbonate ions, which leads to lowering or raising his pH to fix that problem. But in fixing the problem, we're removing the signals that normally tell his central chemoreceptor to make him breathe faster. So far, okay? Well, we have an auxiliary backup. If this doesn't work, I can depend upon my peripheral chemoreceptors. This is what's thought of as your primary driver for ventilation. You guys are all using this right now. Right? Central chemoreceptors are your primary drivers for ventilation. Well, apparently John doesn't have enough O2 because he's not breathing fast enough. So Derek says, that's no big deal. We'll just give him some oxygen. So you give me oxygen. You increase my oxygen levels inside of my blood. If you increase my PO2 through oxygen, am I going to get more oxygen into my peripheral chemoreceptor? Am I going to open up more potassium channels? Am I going to make my cell even more negative than usual?
Yep.
Am I going to be closing more voltage-gated calcium channels than usual? Am I going to be decreasing the signals for breathing? Yeah, and you're trying to help me breathe more.
There goes Brown.
You give somebody more oxygen, their breathing rates slow down. And the more you give them, the more they slow down. You can actually have them stop breathing. You just killed Nana. So here's the rule, or John in this case. Someone who has what's known as emphysema, which we'll discuss on Monday, right? Or COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disorder. And it's chronic. Maybe they have hypercapnia. The unwritten rule is you give them no more than about 1,000 liters a minute of oxygen. 1,000 milliliters, 1 liter. Because the more O2 you give them, the more O2 goes into the peripherals. The more that goes into the peripherals, the slower their ventilation rates become. And so you know exactly what the problem is, you give them at least 1 liter a minute, no more than that, because the more you give, the more harm you actually do. And that's actually, I think, one of the things that was drummed into my head as an undergrad student at UW, is that medicine is really a compromise. In helping somebody, there's also doing some harm. And I want them to get more O2, so I got to give you more O2. But I also realize the more I give you, the more you're going to be slowing down your ventilation rates. And if I give you too much, you're going to stop breathing in that context. Does that seem to make sense? All right, chew on that, and we'll revisit it again on Monday.